Chuck's interested in selling his 18694 East Raven Drive. He's looking to downsize. He wants to set an appointment for, he's kind of anxious, so let's do an in-person appointment. So we've got the location there, and he wants to do it for Friday, 2 days, right? Let's do Friday at 3 p.m. And let's say we think it's gonna take us an hour, 3 to 4. All right, so we're gonna set the end date as 4 p.m. Let's say it's a 1 hour appointment. Something to notice here, since we didn't cover events on the lead record, is that we've got attendees automatically added down here. So we've got Chris, but let's change this and say, hey, our acquisition, let's say user here is our acquisition agent, just to keep that straight. And so I was the lead manager, and I'm setting an appointment for an acquisition agent. By doing that, by assigning this to the acquisition agent, it will add them to the opportunity team as the acquisition agent as well. You don't have to worry about changing this attendee here. It'll automatically drop it off and add user instead. Chuck Norris has been added as an attendee, which means if you're using Einstein activity capture and you're tied into Outlook or Google Workspace or Gmail, it will send an invite to Chuck if we've got an email for him anyway. It'll send an invite to him with these details. So it'll have, of course, the location. It'll have the subject of the appointment, which if you want to change the default to say, appointment in person and then your company name or something like that, we recommend keeping appointment and in person in there. You can put your company name in between because there are some automations that trigger off of that. But it will send that email invite or calendar invitation to all the attendees here with the subject, also with the location, the date and time, of course, and then the description. So this is something to keep in mind. If you add the description here and you say, Chuck's just been terrible to work with, is awful, but good luck, it's not going to go over well when they see that in their invite description. So whatever you put there, if they are getting an email invite, it will sync over to that calendar invitation in the description or notes field. You can add additional attendees if you've got maybe another agent joining you or shadowing you, or maybe you want to add Mary as well. So let's go ahead and add Mary to this one. And so now both Chuck and Mary will get that email invitation or calendar invitation and to meet with your acquisition agent on the 12th, 3 to 4. So let's save that guy. Keep in mind also, time zone is really important. If you've got agents working across the country, it is important to know that time zone is based on the user. So it is based on whoever owns that appointment. And so we want to make sure your org is in the right time zone, kind of the primary one, and your users are also in the right time zone. So we set that appointment. This is great. All right, so I was a lead manager. I worked through that lead, got him on the phone, had a good conversation, maybe worked through some nurturing, got those pillars identified, qualified, and set the appointment with Chuck and Mary. And now we're ready to have the acquisition agent take it over. So they will have been notified that they were added to the team as an acquisition agent, right? So right here. So they'll get that notification. So they'll know they need to come work this out. They'll also be on the appointment invitation. So there's lots of reaching out already happening for them to know that they've got this opportunity they need to start working. Okay, so now the appointment is here and the acquisition agent can take it. Something that you'll notice here is that we do allow you, so this is, you're seeing the last appointment and next appointment. And you can of course click this next appointment and it's gonna go to that record for you. But sometimes you're gonna get a phone call from Chuck and he's gonna say, hey, I need to cancel this appointment right before it's even happened. And if you wanna track that, right, a scheduling conflict, you can of course just update this to the new time. But if you do want to track that and say, hey, we had one scheduled that got canceled, here's the next one, then you can, right? I can say, hey, this one's canceled. I could say if I did reschedule it or not. Current obstacle, do we have any? Maybe a competitor's come into the space now and I can save that information even before the appointment's happened. And then I can create a new one, right, if I wanted to. And I can go ahead and put appointment in person, and acquisition's already there. We're gonna go ahead and say, hey, they need to move it to the 15th. just an example here. And I'm gonna make sure to add Mary in here. And we're gonna assign this one again to there. So just showing that you can handle that. Now, once the appointment is over, the acquisition agent is going to get a text message saying, hey, what happened on that appointment? Tell me about it. And that will let us, and let me just show you, let me refresh these guys. And let me move this one that's on the 12th at 3. And I can also do that from here, right? Either place. So let me look at these ones. So this one on the 12th at 3, let me edit this one. And I'm gonna put it to yesterday, just so you can see. All right, let's do that. Okay, now when I do that, and let me just refresh this one, right? I'm doing it kind of manually here. Obviously it would happen pretty naturally for you. We can see that the last appointment is there. It shows canceled, scheduling conflict, and obstacles there, same one here. And now the next appointment is here for the 15th. And so we can see what's happened last and what's on the docket next. And the agent is gonna get an email and a text message and notification, for that matter, to go and dispose that appointment 15 minutes after it ends, if it wasn't canceled, right? If it happened. And so they can, let me just show you an example of what that will look like from here. Let's go to event disposition. Now that I've got an event, I probably should have thrown the ID in there, but so from the portal, they won't have to click through here, but they could. Let's go into this one, user, because that's whose appointment it was. And we can see we had these 2 appointments. And let's grab this one. And it will actually, this is on the 9th. It will actually take them straight to the appointment, right? So from their text message they get or the email they get, right? We understand acquisition agents, field agents are out in the field. And so we've got to like meet them where they are and make it easier for them to give us this information or input this data. And so it's going to take them straight to this page, and they can say, hey, offer, attended, offer pending, for example. Maybe the obstacle now is, maybe there's none, maybe they're not facing anything, or maybe it's ownership or price, and they can put that in there. And then additional notes. Right, just notes from, if they wanted to add additional detail or notes about the appointment, obviously they'd put more in there than that for sure. Then they can do that, and it's really easy, quick and easy for them to do. Now, if there is going to be a deep link also that will take them straight to, and this one's just not formatted. I need to reformat this page. It will actually bring them to kind of an example of the opportunity record, and on the portal, yours will be branded and look nice and clean for you, so no big deal there. But if they're using the mobile app, it'll deep link them to the opportunity record, and they can put in that same information. So we've got that data here, and we should have some notes available, right? Here's the appointment notes, and here's some other notes that we took with Chuck. You can see those. We can also see them here, right? So I've got my notes available here. So I've got a nice, quick, consolidated view of everything that's happening from all the different channels that people might be putting data in from. All right, so that was a lot of conversation on the appointment. You of course have your appointment status here, right? Where are we at with it? If it needed rescheduled, it would have gone here. Now this one knows it didn't because it's got one scheduled, and I can say, hey, it's confirmed. I've talked to Chuck and Mary. I've talked to the acquisition agent, so we're all good.